I'm going to share with you why the term empty nester is outdated and why I refer to myself as an open nester and how you might be one too. But first, please like, comment, share, turn your notifications on so that you can get more of this open nester's goodness. Shall we? We shall. So first, I'm Kiki, and welcome, beautiful people. Generally, open nesters is defined by parents who are in transition. Their children have left the nest, be that to go off to college and or to get married, to move out the house, etc. But there are others that I include in this open nester journeys, and that might be you. So one, parenting; two, a primary care provider. Perhaps you're taking care of someone else and that role has shifted, or a partner. You were once married or in a long-term relationship, now divorced, widowed, separated, broken up, whatever, you name it. I primarily focus on that transition of parenting. If you fall into one of those three categories, then welcome, you're in the right place, which leads me into who I am. Well, a little bit about who I am. I am a mother of three amazing daughters, 33, 30, and 19. And I'm also a newly open nester. And I'm excited about this journey of open nesting. And I believe that you can and will be too as you follow along with this journey. And why do I say open and not empty? Well, first of all, to me, empty denotes lack and void, whereas open is just that. It's expansive, it's explorative, it's abundance. And I believe that language shapes our experiences. If I see myself as open, I may be more inclined to lean into the newness of this journey, as opposed to if I saw myself as empty, I may be under the covers for a long period of time, wondering about what this next chapter of my life is going to look like, wondering who I am outside of being a mother, a father, a caregiver, wondering if I'm able to navigate this newness because it is so new to me. Whereas I still have, as an open nester, I still have those challenges, except the way in which I approach them are different. I look at them as an opportunity now. Yes, those questions still come up. I'm going to be 53 years old. I'm in this next chapter of my life. There is purpose that I have. There's visions that I still have and goals that I want to ascertain. And much of my identity has been attached to that of mothering. I was married at one time, so some of my identity was attached to that of being a wife. I worked in corporate for a really long time, and a lot of my identity was that as an executive. So all of these things have shaped me, but who am I outside of those things? What brings me joy in absence of parenting, or I should say, an active of actively parenting on a day-to-day basis? Right? What are the things that actually bring me joy? So that is what this journey of open nesting is all about. It's about leaning into the expansion, being explorative, challenging the limiting beliefs, the status quo, recognizing that it is my time and it's okay to focus on me. There are lots of things that I will uncover and discover about who I am in this next chapter of my life, and I'm excited about it. Did I have moments of sadness when my daughter left to college? I absolutely did. Did I question what will I do next? I absolutely did. Did I have some concerns about whether or not I could do this and how I was going to utilize my time now that I ain't got nobody to boss around on a day-to-day basis? Or now it's like, well, you're not on top of them. Now you get to be on top of yourself. Now, I'm not going to say for one moment that it has not been a challenge, and we're going to talk about what some of those challenges are that I face and possibly you may face as well. But there is also opportunities. So let's lean into the challenges a little bit, right? As an open nester, I find myself challenged with one identity, who I am, that is above and beyond that of a mother, right? I define myself by what I did and by the roles that I played in so many lives. And so now that those things are no longer the case, i.e., I am not actively parenting, because I'm always going to be a mom, I'm always going to parent, but I'm not actively parenting on a day-to-day basis. The way in which I parent now looks a lot different. And because this is new terrain for me, one, living alone for the first time, having the focus solely be on myself is very eye awakening, but it is a journey that I'm excited about. It's something that I'm leaning into. Now, was I always excited? I'm going to say primarily yes, because I've had the experience of having two other daughters to go away to college. And while someone was always home while the other child went away, I was not obviously an open nester, but I've had those moments of getting to see what that would look like, right? And so I was been preparing myself mentally and physically and emotionally for this chapter, for this phase in my life. Because the one thing that I was very clear on is that I did not want to put the covers over my head. I did not want to be woe is me. And I wanted to maximize this moment. Understanding that for so much of my life has been focused on looking after others. And so what does it get to look like to take care of me? And that was, I'm going to say scary, but I'm starting to now understand that scary and fearful feeling is the same as exciting. So sometimes I'll be like, oh my goodness, I feel so scared. I feel so nervous. And in actuality, I'm really excited. And I think at the beginning of the journey, I was stuck for a little bit, right? So some of the challenges that I faced was the challenge of time management, the challenge of being able to lean into what I like, asking myself those difficult questions. What do you like? Do you really like that? Or are you just doing that because you've been so accustomed to doing that? What are your hobbies? Who would you like to spend time with? What are the new experiences that you would like to have for yourself? Are there things that you haven't done that you've always longed to do? Or are there things that you have yet to discover that you are going to lean into? And obviously, if I have yet to discover them, then I don't know what I don't know as of yet. But all of those are questions that I've been asking myself. And so looking at time now differently, because there's more time to focus on me. So that's been a challenge, but also an opportunity. A challenge is also in and around community. And so my community, what I had before at a certain stage of my life, obviously being around other parents, some of them younger than me, some of them are still has children at home, or they are at different phases in their life. For example, I am building a business and serving as an entrepreneur and a consultant, and maybe they work in a traditional way in terms of 9 to 5. And so what does that get to look like in terms of how I get to spend my afternoons or my time with folks? A challenge, but also an opportunity. So opportunity to lean into a community of business owners, entrepreneurs. I can get very comfortable in the isolation, and I'm so accustomed to being my children. So now navigating the go-to being other adults that are not my children. And so I think it's important to expand community and have an accountability partner, reminding people that you are here, that you have this new time and freedom, that you are working to figure it out, but you don't have it all figured out yet. You'll probably continue to figure out for some time. But hey, when you're going someplace, can you think about me? Or if I'm going someplace, are you available? I think it's kind of putting myself out there and challenging myself to do more of that, because I'm not accustomed to that. That's not my go-to is children first. And then it's me, but then it's not, I'm never thinking about what girlfriend could I call? Because I always pause because I'm like, oh, they got other things, got their circles of friends. How do I fit into that circle? So then I get into highly isolation mode, which is not good. Yeah. So there's the time management, community. I think about journeys. I think about the journey of deep diving and questioning my beliefs that I had at the time, but also expanding my different experiences and travels and doing things that I've never done before without having to consider anyone else but myself. The open nesting term works because it leaves me literally, and I know this sounds cliche, but it leaves me open. Whereas when I started to focus on empty, the experience was really sadness. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with myself? I don't even know what I like. I don't even know necessarily what brings me joy. I know some of it, but I don't know a lot of it. And so when I started focusing on the empty part of it, I started to become sad. It's very interesting is that the sadness was still prevalent. The sadness was there. I definitely was in a space of having the covers over my head. I felt a bit stuck early on when my daughter left for college because it was so much of what I did. And I think that that's the key part. So much of what I did was attached to me being a mother. And I needed to really say to myself, who do you want to be in this next chapter of your life? I want to be courageous. I want to be free. I want to, oh my, now I'm getting emotional. I want to be creative. I want to be joy filled. And it's not to say that when I was having the experience of being a mom, that those things were not there. But a lot of it was about ensuring that they were cared for, and then their care and their nurturing and their nourishment was the top priority. And then I said to myself, well, if you were able to pour and put that into someone else, do you not see yourself as deserving and worthy of having that same experience for yourself? Do you not see that you get to be nourished and nurtured, and you get to be poured into, and you get to determine how long you want to sleep in or not sleep in, or what roles or jobs you want to have? Because a lot of the decisions that I made was based upon being a responsible parent. And I'm like, no, I can't do that because I have these children I need to think about. I have to do this because I need to be home at this particular time. I need to do this because my child needs to be at practice at certain time. So there were limitations on the things that I needed to do. Language shapes your experience. I think what people were saying when they talked about empty, that they were literally just saying that no one is in the home other than you. And then I start to take a pause and say, well, who's no one? I'm in the home. I'm still here. So does life now end because there's no one else to take care of? Am I not worthy of being taken care of? So that was the shift. I start to question how I saw myself and what is it that I want to experience for my life. So story time. I remember dropping my daughter off to college. And I was excited because I had already started to coin myself as an open nester. And I'm like really excited about this next phase. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be doing all of this. I'm not putting the covers over my head. And then I found that for the first couple of weeks, nothing got done because it is a new experience for me. And I needed to sit in that. And so for the first, really, I want to say the first month or two was about sitting in the newness and not rushing past being an open nester, rushing past that emotional state of it, and recognizing that there has been a big identity shift. That is major. I've been parenting since I was 19 years old. So to expect it all of a sudden, it's like, oh, honey, this is go time. You got this. In my head, it made sense. But really, I needed to sit with the shift and not run from it. And the running from it could look like, let me set up all of these different things that I wanted to do. And part of the first journey was sitting still, acknowledging that this is a new space for me. I sat with that for quite some time. And as I was sitting with it, I was still challenged myself to get up in the morning and do exercise. That's new. I never got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to exercise for no damn body. Right? The only thing that I would do 6 o'clock in the morning was getting up to get my child up for school. And then I said to myself, well, that's interesting. You would get up early enough to get your child ready for school, to ensure that she has all of the things that are necessary, but you won't get yourself up early to do something for yourself, to exercise for your own wellness. And so those are the things that I start to challenge and lean into. How much of my identity is about nurturing, about caring for others, and how much of that did not include me. It felt like it included me, but only included me when I got frustrated, right? I would include myself when I was like, oh, you done did 50,000 things. Girl, go get yourself your nails done. Go get yourself this, or go take your self out there. It was almost like it included me as a reward, not as a priority. So early on, I realized, oh, you have to plan. And planning means beginning now before your children go off, even if that is taking some time to start to ask yourself, if time wasn't a factor, what would I be doing? If money wasn't a factor, what would I be doing, right? And then just writing that down. You don't necessarily have to do it, but really beginning the planning process. I think just starting to get yourself into the head and heart space of that is where the first thing to start. Being with other people who has the experience that you have, and I think that it's helpful. There's much more, but I think the other thing is planning, building community, talking. Really just being honest about where you are on the journey, working it through, and maybe start taking yourself out on dates. And maybe do that before the kids, because I'm telling you, once they go, the shit is, you're gonna be sitting around for about a good month or so. I'm picking your nose. I don't know. Or maybe you won't be, because there's some people who are like, I can't wait till these kids get out the house, honey, so I can do what I need to do. But I think it also is contingent on the relationship that you have with your children. For me, for example, I have such a good relationship with my children. And sometimes what I've learned, that great relationship probably was borderline on codependency. That's the other thing, right? So it's an opportunity to break those codependencies, because they could go off to school and you still be talking to them 3 or 4 days a week. One thing that I also thought of, she's in school, living and having the experiences that she's having. What would it be like for her to come back home and experience the same mother that she had left? Just as she's at school, having new experiences, doing different things, right? Learning boundaries, navigating new friendships, and we want them to be courageous in and around that experience. Oh, go try and be part of this particular club, meet someone here, but make sure you're balancing your party life with making sure that you're getting up on time for school. Just like I want to encourage her to really be out here and make the most of her collegiate experience, then why would I not want to make the most of my open nester journey? Why would I not want to? Why does that not apply to me in terms of what I get to do? Is a demonstration to them, because at some point or another, they may be back home. And again, it's this, if you have a collegiate age child, and when she's back home, I see that my life is not just about her. She's not the center of my world. I am the center of my world, and I want her to get that she is the center of her world as well. Everyone is the main character in their own story. And sometimes it takes the child leaving the nest for us to see it, and I understand it. But I think if there is a goal, and I didn't think about this until this very moment, I think this is a beautiful opportunity for you to begin practicing this way of being prior to your children being out the nest, period. Again, cliche, but put the oxygen mask on yourself, because we want to be able to be a demonstration to our children. Because the fact of the matter is, they are going to leave the nest. They're leaving one day. And so we put so much emphasis on them. And then when they go, we're clueless. I don't know what to do. But we don't have to be that way if we begin to plan and really get that we matter too. Our needs matter. Our desires matter, and they don't have to wait until the children leave the nest for it to occur. So as part of this open nesters journeys, there are 4 pillars that I am leaning into. And the first is love. And I literally am on this journey of finding my life partner. I want to be in a loving, nurturing, monogamous relationship with a man. So the journey to love is something that you'll get to experience here on this channel. And that will look like me swiping left or right on Hinge, or going on speed dating, maybe being hooked up on a blind date. So those is the journey. So it's my journey to love. But my journey to love and finding or seeking a partner is one, but there's also the journey of loving self. And that is the journey that you'll get to experience with me, how I'm getting to love myself and nurture and mother myself for the first time in my life, because I like to say that life for me ain't been no crystal stairs, and I've had some challenges growing up, but that was then and this is now. And how am I navigating by taking care of the little girl in me and nurturing? So that's the love pillar. And then there is the purpose and passion. And I've worked in corporate for umpteen years as an HR executive, as a trainer in staff development, a manager, as a director. I've had many roles and served on boards and helped build groups, etc. And so now I am expanding that to look more like a consultant, to look like life coaching and supporting other people on their journeys as they transition. And so purpose and passion, leaning into that, and also just leaning into the unknown, because I'm listening to what those things are. And there might be things that I say, yes, this is an absolute, but because I'm open, it may not be so absolute. So purpose and passion is the second pillar. The other one is around travels. I've never had the collegiate experience of going away to college, and I want to experience what it would look like to live abroad for some time. So either the travel abroad experience is under travel, but travel in terms of just solo travel trips or traveling with other open nesters. So what that experience gets to look like, and we could journey through that. The last pillar is around wellness. That looks like exercising. Because we get to a certain part of our lives and the bones are a little bit achy, things are not moving in the way that they once moved. And I know that feed our mind is important. What we physically feed and nourish our body is important, and drinking water and all of that stuff. And wellness journey is about mind, body, and spirit. I'm a practicing Buddhist. So those are the 4 pillars. It's really a lifestyle and what the journeys that I've chosen at this particular juncture in my life. And who knows, in 6 months from now, I might not be on the love thing because I might find my boo. No, I'm going to find my boo. And I'm inviting you all to come along with me on the journey and to experience that. Thank you for watching. Join our Open Nester community by subscribing, visiting kikior.com for resources, and shop our merch to proudly embrace your Open Nester journey.